I think it was probably about just after half time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That news started to break out by Sky and in all the other news sources that the Super League was going to come through. I didn't know what to think at the time. I kind of thought it was just a proposal, that clubs would come up and propose it. And obviously Gary Neville was co-commentating that game, and he obviously was staunchly against it. And he came out after the game and said a lot of things about it, but that's probably what we're going to have to move on to now, which is the news which came out about 11:30 or last night.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it, but when it came out, I just didn't know what to do really, because it's the worst day in football history.
Yeah, well, obviously people listening to this on Spotify or iTunes,
Maybe
we're thinking about getting this up on YouTube, right? So go subscribe to the YouTube channel and check this video out, and we better talk about the Super League. And football's dead.
Football died today, 1869 to 2021. It's dead. Football was born in Sheffield and it's died in the hands of Florentino Perez, who is a tumour in football. I don't know what to say. I mean,
Kroenke along with him.
Kroenke along with him.
What Kroenke said.
What's he
say? Thank you, Perez, for it was something along the lines of thank you, Perez, for giving us the victory in football that we finally deserve, or something like that. It was like,
oh my word!
It's like finally taking football to the next step.
I hate American sport. It's something which I don't like.
Yeah.
It's this obsession with All-Star. I mean, All-Star games, sure, I would like that in the Premier League. That'd be just a fun little friendly. But it's the idea that the league's the same every year. You don't get promotion, you get relegation. In America, it encourages people to support players and not clubs.
Yeah, no. MLS as well, it just kind of seems like it's one big just people throw money at their clubs and you just come and watch a match. It's never about who's the better team. It's just like they're watching a show. And yeah, football should always be a show, but there's not really anything competitive about it in most of the sense. And it just kind of seems that now that has just transferred all the way over to Europe, just because that's where the money comes from.
Yeah, I think everyone in agreement in the fact that this is a terrible idea, not just us.
No, it's
almost everyone on the planet, I'd say. Even every football fan disagrees with this.
Even Boris Johnson's coming out of this looking good. I mean, he's staunchly against politics.
Who does he support, by the way?
Probably no one. No. He's not interested in football, but football's so important nationally. He's got to make a stand against it, and it just shows how important football is. That it's so much more than a sport. That our Prime Minister's having to come out and comment. Because, I mean, one thing which I don't think that anyone's mentioned is the mental health implications of this. Because there's so many fans that their one thing they look forward to every week is watching their team play on a weekend, whether they win, lose or draw. And the idea of that all being tarnished just to fill the pockets of a few businessmen is just kind of... It makes me sick to my stomach. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that we're not wearing our club kits. I usually wear an Arsenal kit every week. Jordan's maybe got a United kit or a Rangers kit or whatever. Yeah. I'm wearing my Exeter City shirt right now because actually they're one of the few fan-owned clubs in the EFL. So they're actually doing something right. They've come out and made a statement this morning saying they're against the moral implications of it all. And I mean, I don't know how I can be an Arsenal fan after this, because even if it doesn't go through, the idea that I know my club try to do it, I can't trust a club that does that. I mean, the only way I'll let it happen, I'll go back, is if Stan Kroenke is out of the club, and if he's still there, I don't think I can actually support my football club anymore. I can't go to a game, I can't renew a membership, I can't put money into a club which will willingly destroy football for the sake of profit.
Yeah, for me, Ed Woodward left. He resigned from UEFA this morning.
Yeah,
all but confirming that United are in the whole Super League thing, and it's an absolute joke. Really, it's a disgrace.
It's unreal as well, because you mentioned fans do everything to get to their stadiums on the weekend and watch their clubs play, but we don't even know if these games are going to be played in their stadiums. I saw something on Instagram earlier. It's like, you just know that these games will be played in whoever puts down the most money, in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia. Just like was it Baku, the Europa League a couple of seasons ago, like that. It's going to be exactly like that. Just to be clear as well, as we're talking about this, it is all kicking off.
Yeah,
Mourinho's just been sacked from Tottenham. We don't know exactly why, but it's along the lines of you know, he's got issues with the Super League. I mean, he was going to get sacked anyway, let's be honest. Tottenham weren't performing well, but, you know, he's got his issues with what's going on now, and it looks like Daniel Levy's just had enough, and he's firm with this. And it's weird because, like, you see all these owners, like, they are really sticking with this. They aren't backing down. They knew that this was going to get a lot of hate, and they're still going with it. It kind of makes me think, like, is something going to go right? Is there like a good reason behind this? And isn't going to? And as much as like you look at it and you think like, what is going on? But a small part of me is like, if they're doing this for a reason, like I know, and that reason is probably money. But maybe in 5 years' time we're going to be looking back on this and think, thank God this happened. Like, we love the Super League. I can't see it happening, but you know, maybe is it something like how the Premier League was created? Is it like how? You know, no one wanted that to happen, then it did, and thank God the Premier League was made. But
I mean, I love your optimism, but I just can't see it. It's just when the Premier League was brought. I mean, the Premier League. Now you look at it with this bit of hindsight. The Premier League, the formation of it in 1992. You look back and it's now kind of the beginning of what football's become. You know, you think if we stuck to the traditional First Division and the proper Football League, would this have happened? Probably not.
The difference of that though, like back then, right? So all the clubs below the top 5 or top 6, whatever it was back then, they despised the idea of the Premier League because it wasn't going to be financially supporting the lower clubs. But like this is 10 times worse because football isn't going to be played in England anymore. Like, it's not solely against English teams. You're not going to see Arsenal come to Brighton and play at the weekend or anything like that, or the other way round. It's going to be completely different. At least with the Premier League, everything was staying in England, everything was connected. Now it's just gone all out the window, and they're just putting deemed the best clubs against each other. And let's be honest, like Arsenal in the Super League.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason you qualify for tournaments. You qualify for tournaments because you deserve to be there. You earn your right. Like, I mean, Gary Neville was talking about it, and the stuff he kind of said was, we were in the Champions League for year upon year upon year because we deserved it. Yeah. He played his entire career in the Champions League because he earned the right to be there, and that's the joy of being in the Champions League. You earn your right to play against the best. And you earn, and you know, he said, you know, of course I want to win the Premier League every year, I want the Champions League, I want to win the quadruple every year as a United fan, but I want to earn it.
Yeah.
And as an Arsenal fan, I've wanted us to be in the get back in the Champions League as soon as it's humanly possible, but I want us to earn that right.
Yeah, we've got to get there. Like, even like winning the Europa League to get back into the Champions League, that would be unreal. Right?
I'd love that.
That'd be unreal. But at the same time, you got to think like, okay, we won a cup competition to get the Champions League. We didn't actually do it properly. We didn't finish in the top 4. We didn't prove ourselves against all the other English teams. Instead, we're in 9th, and we can maybe scrape into the Champions League. Like, that is not a club that should be going into Europe's best against, you know.
We're going into Europe's best, into Europe's Super League, because of Arsene Wenger, because of the Invincibles, because we've got to a Champions League final, because we've got to 2 Europa League finals. We're getting there based off heritage, and that is a crime. United are getting there because they've won the Champions League 3 times and they've won the most league titles in England. Liverpool are getting there because they're the most successful English club in Europe. You know, it's a scandal. Tottenham, I don't really know why Tottenham are getting there. It's a joke that I'm trying to banter Tottenham in this. I probably shouldn't. We're all clubs together right now. We should all stand together. It's abysmal. And the thing that Jose Mourinho's done, I've earned so much respect for the man this morning. You know, he's actually defended, his opinion. He stood his ground and gone, no, it's wrong. As manager of Tottenham, I'm going to stand my ground until you sack me. And they sacked him on the spot pretty much. But, I mean, it does seem like he's kind of stood to Levy. And I don't know how I can watch another game of my club, because I feel like, are we going to be in the league next season? Are we going to be in Europe next season? Like, are we just going to play in one tournament? Is that it? But
it just seems so pointless.
Yeah.
Like, we're about to go on to these other topics, you know. Don't want to spoil it, but like our best right winger, our best young player in the Premier League. But what is the point when it's all just going out the window? Like, I just don't really understand anymore.
Well, you said it before. As we speak, stuff is happening.
Yeah. For all we know, Arteta's just resigned. Guardiola's out.
If Arteta did resign, I'd be immensely proud of him.
Yeah.
And it would actually bring me some more pride at being an Arsenal fan, because right now it's gone. I've never been ashamed of being an Arsenal fan. I've been annoyed. I've been, a bit disgusted by some of the decisions we've made, and I've been angry. But I've never lost pride in supporting a football club. Yeah. And I don't support Arsenal because of the success we've got. I support Arsenal because my dad supports Arsenal. I support Arsenal because it's near me and I love the club and I love the stadium, I love the fan base. And if we get relegated and we end up having to start from Div 5, so be it. I don't care. Because then, as long as we win our club back, I don't care. I'll support us in the National League, I don't care. But I won't support us in the Super League. It's evil. It's wrong.
I've got something here, sorry. Just to cut in, so you know the Champions League logo, right? And we're talking about so these 12 founding clubs. There has to be, the people that have, I don't know, been the best in Europe, that have started this kind of the best teams in football, right? There's 8 stars on the Champions League logo. Do you know what they represent? They represent the 8 founding teams. So they represent 8 teams who took part in the very first Champions League group stages. Okay, these were AC Milan, Club Brugge, CSKA Moscow. Some teams I don't even know: IFK, Göteborg, Marseille, Porto, PSV Eindhoven, and Rangers. None of them are in there. Sorry, apart from AC Milan.
Yeah.
None of them are in the 12 founding apparently now. It's not 12 founding clubs. It's 12 clubs that are richest in the world.
Yeah.
And they just put it's
I mean, if you did this at any other time, the big 6 in England would be completely different. You do this in the 70s, United aren't there. You do this in the 50s and 60s, Arsenal aren't there. You do this anytime before 2002, Chelsea aren't there. Sorry, you do this
anytime Tottenham aren't there.
No, Tottenham are there. We don't know how they're there, but it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. The one thing which is keeping me up and that is really keeping me happy is the idea that all these fans are coming together and all under one point saying it's wrong. I'm seeing Mark Goldbridge and I was watching his live stream this morning. I had to stop obviously to record, and he was saying this is the United stand for the next few days. This isn't a United channel. This is just a football channel. We're all just we've got to sort this out. I mean, of course we're in Eastbourne right now, and I think some Arsenal fans are trying to protest outside the Emirates. I was considering going, but I thought 2-hour train, I can't really do that late at night. But
there's talk about a lot of protests. I was talking to my mates about protesting outside Old Trafford.
There's going to be protests outside every top 6 ground, 100%. And I support those wholeheartedly. I mean, it's just the worst. This is the worst day in football ever. I can't think of anything worse. Of course, a lot of people have said FIFA are still corrupt, UEFA are still corrupt. And yeah, that is wrong. But FIFA and UEFA, what they do is awful. They, are screwing with human rights with regards to letting the World Cup go ahead at Qatar. They, let people, basically blackmail them or, just put an extra bit of money in to make sure they get the World Cup bid, like with Russia. And they do, and they kind of let financial fair play just slide away with the bigger clubs. But this just takes away the entire structure of football. It ruins the Football League. It's disgusting. It's wrong. I don't know what more you can say about it. It is just the worst thing ever in football. I mean, football takes over my life. I'm doing a sports journalism degree, and I watch every Arsenal game. I watch most Premier League games. I don't know if this happens, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, because suddenly half of my free time just kind of goes away, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's clear that it's all about money. I think there was a statement at some point, either today or yesterday, saying it would be 3.5 billion to each club that goes in.
I think it's 3.5 billion overall, and it was $425 million going to each club, which knowing Stan Kroenke.
No one has said yes.
Yeah, knowing Stan.
No one said it's clear that they want that money, obviously.
Yeah, I mean the funny thing is I know Stan Kroenke well enough to know not one penny of that's going into transfers, but I mean it's just disgusting. I mean, you see in the Stretford end, you see the giant, with the Sir Matt Busby quote.
I literally have it up on my phone.
Yeah, I just saw it and I was going to nick it off.
Are you joking? Yeah, football is nothing without the fans, and let's be honest, no one actually realised that those last games before lockdown were the last games that football was really real. No one realised that was it. If someone told you back then this was going to be the last time that football actually was properly itself, you would have told them to piss off. But
I think from a United standpoint, what United have gone through over the past years that the club's existed, from the Munich air disaster, we got relegated in the 70s. We fought back, and we won the Champions League. We won the Premier League multiple times, and it's just, I don't know what to say really. It's honestly a disgrace. It is a disgrace, and I hope that the Premier League takes action. I hope that the Premier League says, deduct points, relegate Arsenal, Liverpool, United.
I want them to. I want us to be punished. These owners don't belong in football. Football is getting Americanised and it's wrong. Like, let them run their sports the way they want to. Sure, you don't understand football. Football is a religion.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. Plain and simple. Sorry, I got my anecdotes wrong. But it's just so greedy. That's what Martin Tyler went across. Gary Neville suggesting point deductions. I don't think that's simple. I think that's too nice. Because I mean, as an Arsenal standpoint, 10-point deduction doesn't do anything to us really.
Yeah. Probably puts us in a relegation fight, but
no, it doesn't matter. What's the difference between lower mid-table and ninth?
Yeah. No.
Well, we looked at it yesterday. United and City dropped 10 points.
United stay second.
The same
City
place.
stay first.
I mean, it's closer, but
it's still
the same amount of points.
City still probably win. Still, City walk the
Same
league.
place.
Still, that's
yeah, exactly.
I know we haven't mentioned it, but Arsenal earlier have also left the ECA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vin Katish. Oh God, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, he's had to kind of announce it. And one of the main men behind the whole thing as well, ex-Arsenal assistant chief exec Raul Sanllehi, is behind this as well. So, and he obviously got sacked by Arsenal just over a year ago because he pocketed a lot of money from the Pepe deal. That's all you really want to know. It is just run by these people who don't love football. They love money.
Yeah,
I love football. And I love football to the point where if I was in this situation, and also the point is, these men are rich. These men have, millions upon millions and millions of pounds and dollars or whatever accessible to them. They don't need this. They don't need this extra pocket cash, do they? But it's just greed. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's a statement which will never be disproven in my eyes. And yeah, it's a sour note, so I feel like we should probably try and get off it and move on to something better.
Yeah, I'd like to get off it.
Yeah,
it's a bit depressing.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see
Not in a good mood.